Hello everyone, I am Kranthi Kumar, Assistant Professor in the Department of ECE, Marri Laxman Institute of Technology and Management. Today we are going to discuss about IoT and its applications and the basics of the IoT Internet of Things. These are the course objectives of IoT and its applications. The main course objective in this one. So the students, after completion of this course, the students will try to learn the IoT architecture, standard, and ecosystem components. And the second course objective is IoT communication protocols and connectivity options. And the third one is sensors and actuators integration for IoT applications. And the fourth one is data analytics, cloud platforms, and security in IoT system. Right. So the final one is IoT applications, which mean the practical IoT applications in smart cities, in healthcare, agriculture, and in the industry. So these are the 5 modules we are going to discuss in the upcoming lecture videos. So in the module 1, discuss about the basics of Internet of Things. And module 2 is different communication protocols used in the IoT system, and module 3 is different types of sensors and embedded systems, like how we are interfacing an LED and a switch and a Raspberry Pi board to the IoT. So these kind of things we are going to discuss in the module 3. So next one is data management and analytics. So the collected data, how we are going to be analyzed and how we are going to be extract the useful information from the collected data. So and how we are going to make decisions, and how this data will be secure in the IoT systems. So all those things we will learn in the module 4. So and last one is the IoT applications. So different applications of the Internet of Things, like the smart home, smart cities, and healthcare in different sectors. Nowadays we are using in many areas, in IoT systems. So the different applications we are going to discuss in the module 5. So each module having some course outcome. So after learning the one module, so now the student will get some has to get some outcomes. So those are, so after learning the first module 1, so the student able to learn, so describe the IoT architecture, protocols, and enabling different technologies. So after completing the module 2, the student will learn, so compare communication and networking techniques used in the IoT system. So after completing the module 3, the student will learn, so how we can integrate the sensors and actuators for IoT applications. So and after completing the module 5, so the student will learn, so different how to apply clouds and how to analyze the data and how the data will be secured. So and simply say data management. Right. So the final one is, so we will demonstrate the solutions in real-time domains like smart homes, healthcare, and industry, which means the applications of the IoT system. So these are the some textbooks for Internet of Things and its applications. So this is the main book, Arshati Baga and Vijay Vanshetty. So the second edition, 2015, and these are some reference books for the IoT system. Right. So what is the importance of the Internet of Things in the engineering? So if the student learns the Internet of Things and its applications in the engineering field, then what student will get? And these are some important these are the some important things that the student is going to be get. Right. The first one is, so after studying the IoT in engineering, it helps students to understand how small devices collect, communicate, and analyze data to solve real world problems. Okay. So the second one is, it provides the knowledge to design the development applications such as smart homes, healthcare, agriculture, industries, and smart cities. And next, it also builds skills like in sensor communication, cloud computing, data analytics, and embedded systems, so which are highly demanded today's engineering and technology industry. Right. So these are the importance of IoT in engineering. So here internet, so we are very known. So what is internet, right? So it is a global network that connects computer and devices worldwide, so enabling communication and information sharing, right? For example, so okay, so just imagine your computer, your mobile phone and laptop and server in the world is a house, right? So now imagine the roads are connecting all these houses, right? So these roads allow people so to travel from one house to another. Okay, so similarly, so the devices like computers, phones, laptops, so these are treated as the houses, right? So and the internet, which means so the roads connecting all these houses. So in this way we are going to be connect so all the computers globally to share the information. So it is nothing but the internet. Next, so what do you mean by IoT, internet of things? Okay, so internet of things is a network of physical objects or things embedded with electronics, software, sensors and communication technologies, okay, so that are connected to the internet. So this enables these objects to collect, exchange and process data with minimal human interference. Okay, so for example, so imagine that so everyday objects such as your fan, lights, car, refrigerators, watches and even farming equipments can collect information, communicate with each other and make decisions automatically through the internet. Okay, so this is concept called so internet of things, which means the devices are connected through the internet, so they can share the information, they can communicate the information so one to another and they can make the decision intelligently. So okay, so this concept is nothing but internet of things. So here, so this is the internet. So the internet works with the help of the some servers. The servers provides so different services like mail, banking, music and shopping, right? So things means the object to which are connected to the internet. For example here the smartwatch is connected to your internet. Okay, so it will read your heart rate, so number of steps per day and how many calories burning. So using some sensors it will read all this data and this data will be stored in the internet, right? For example, car. Okay, so in the car we have like speed sensor, okay, location and the fuel indication. Okay, so all these are sensed and intimated to the user, right? So if you consider an factory, so the vigilance, CCTV vigilance and fault detection and the robotics. Okay, so if you are considering a smart home, okay, so TV, fridge and security. So nowadays we know that so in the smart home we can control everything by using internet. Okay, right? So here we are connecting different devices to the internet. So things means the objectives are the devices which are connected to the internet. Okay, so the devices are connected to the internet and here they are sharing the information and transferring the information to each other. So this is nothing but internet of things. Here the for example for internet of things, importance of internet of things. Here if you observe a farm field without an IoT. Okay, so without IoT, the which means so the farmer has need to go to the field and switch on the motor. If the moisture is very less, then automatically the farmer has to need to go to the visit the field and switch on the motor. Okay, so this uses more resources, like consumes more time and decrease the maybe the farm yield will be decreased, right? So here we are using an IoT system. Okay, so here we are using some moisture sensors. Okay, so the moisture sensor sends the moisture percentage. If the moisture percentage is very it is if dry, then automatically so it will send the information to the through the device, through the internet, and a controller will be used automatically. It will switch on the motor, right? It will switch on the motor. So it saves the resources and also it saves the time. Okay, it saves the resources means there is no wastage of water. Okay, so it saves the time. okay, it increases the yield and saves the cost. So we know that these sensors are very low cost sensors, so there is no need of to buy high cost sensors. So these are the benefits of IoT. Okay, so without IoT and with IoT, how we are making the field with a smart agriculture field, right? So these are the key components of an IoT. So generally, so to you to utilize the IoT system, so we need some key components. In that, the first one is sensors and actuators. The second one is connectivity and gateways, and the third one is IoT cloud, and the fourth one is IoT analytics and data management, and the fifth one is user interface. Okay, so in the first one, in the sensors and actuators, okay, so we know that sensor means it will capture the physical data from the environment. Okay, it gives to the internet. Okay now, so here the activators gives the physical output, which means the sensor will sense the information, then the activator will be react and the gives response to the sensor based on the sensor input. Okay, so it detects the real-time data and gives the real-time response. Okay, the sensors gives the real-time data and the activators gives the real-time response. Okay, now this data will be transferred to the some device. For that we need some connectivity and gateways. Okay, so for that we will use some wireless and wide networks. Okay na, so like Bluetooth, Zigbee, 4G or 5G signals are okay, so it connects sensors and activators to the cloud. Okay, so these connectivities are used to connect the sensors and activators to the IoT cloud. Okay, so here IoT cloud. Okay, so to store and process the collected data, we need some storage. Okay na, so that storage must be we will use as a cloud. We know nowadays we have different types of cloud platforms like Azure and Amazon Web Services. Okay, so all these are the cloud services providing some most top companies. Okay, so we will use the cloud to store the information. Okay, next, so the collected data from the cloud, it should be analyzed. Okay, it should be analytics and data management. So okay na, so like data structuring for the applications. Okay, so the collected data must be extracted, which means we have to extract the useful information. Okay, so here the collected data is a raw data, which means it contains some noise or missing values, so unnecessary parameters. So from that, so here the IoT analytics and data management. Okay, so we are going to be extract the useful information. Okay, so on the useful, based on the useful information, and we are going to be predict the future. Okay, so here we will use some prediction algorithms to give commands to the activators. So what we have to do, like that it is going to be monitor. Okay, and the final one is user interface. Okay na, so here the final application user interface. Okay, so here it will be monitor the application, right? User interacts with the system, so user interact with the system, user can remotely operate the system, user can modify the output. Okay, so finally the user will get the output at the user interface component. Okay, so thank you everyone.